morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Monwa BC. I'm the Administrative Officer for the Counseling Office in Johannesburg. Welcome, everyone, to the Gauteng Time Management Workshop hosted by our Ekurhuleni team. Basically, today we'll be discussing techniques and the methods and the importance of time management towards your studies. I have a couple of guests, 3 to be exact. I only have 3 speakers on my program today who will be assisting us with time management issues, assignment matters, and how to navigate the Moodle site. So basically, everything, when you collate it, it comes to one basic thing that we're talking about today, which is time management. Now, before I waste more time, I would like to call out my line manager, Ms. Mamashu Mabua, who will be doing our opening, welcome, and the purpose of the day.
Thank you so much, colleagues and students. Thank you so much for joining us today for this workshop that I hope it will assist both you and us on the issues of time management. My name is Mama Shumabua, as Monavis has said, and I'm a student counselor in Johannesburg. Mine is just to welcome you and give you the purpose of the day. We are gathered here today with the understanding that UNISA is an open distance e-learning university, which becomes a comprehensive university that caters for both working class and students on a full-time basis. But the challenge is that we understand as well that there are no full-time classes, which means that most of the work will be done by the students in terms of having to do the assignments and submitting the assignments, and as well as, you know, getting to learn about their course. So the reason why we are having these workshops is with the understanding that some of you might also have chosen UNISA because of the fact that you also have some other commitments that would not allow you to go to a full-time institution whereby you have to attend class on full-time basis. So with that being said, having to have students that are committed on the other side, working or being full-time parents, full-time wives, full-time husbands, and all that might not allow you to go to class every day, and hence you chose UNISA. But the challenge is, how do you now manage your time effectively with the understanding as well that we all have 24 hours a day, and in that 24 hours a day there should be a lot that is happening, including our precious time of sleeping. So how do you now as a student go about ensuring that none of the things that you are committed to suffer, including your studies? Because in most cases, we understand that our studies are the ones that suffer. Our books are the ones that suffer because they cannot talk, they cannot drag you into the studying station. But with the families, with the people, with your work, there will always be a reminder that you have to go to work. There will always be some complaints that you are not giving us enough time anymore, and that is why the studies will be the ones suffering. So now the reason we are here today is for you to learn some techniques on how to manage your time effectively for the benefit of your studies and other commitments that you have. And we have our student counselor in Ekurhuleni, Mr. Fatuani Makahanu, who is going to do the presentation on time management. And we also understand that as a new student, you might not be able to know how to go about writing and submitting your assignments. And we have Miss Martha Nyandeni. You are welcome, ma'am, to this workshop. And she is going to be giving us information on how to go about writing, submitting, and preparing for your assignments. And also we have our colleague in Ekurhuleni, Mr. Xolile Gaba, who is also going to talk to us about the Moodle side, which you might not be familiar with. Please make sure that you actually open your eyes, you open your ears, and you write as much as points that you can get from this, because this might be the last, not the last, but it might be the time that you get to get this information on this platform. But that doesn't mean that we are not available for you. After the workshop, you will be given our names and our contacts, which will also allow you to make contact with us as and when you experiences challenges. In the beginning, you had a video that was talking about our services as counseling unit and what we offer. Please, please, please make use of us. We are here for you guys. We don't want to hear the stories that you don't know about us. We ran out orientation, and we introduced ourselves to you. Today we are having this workshop. We are going to have many of them. This is the first one. We are going to have many of our academic workshops. Please make sure that when you receive our emails, you make sure that you read through them. You see what can benefit you and what cannot benefit you. Don't just leave the emails as they are and think that they are not meant for you. We cannot send an email to you that is not meant for you. We know our target and we know people that we should service. So every time when the email comes through, read through it and make sure that you understand the contents of that email. And if you don't, then you can always make a follow-up. You are welcome to this workshop, and we hope that you are going to learn a lot from our speakers, and we hope that our speakers are also ready to give you as much information as you can utilize in future. Thank you so much, colleagues, for organizing this workshop. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ms. Mabua. Thank you, ma'am. Everyone is feeling welcome now. My first guest for today will be Mr. Makahane, who is our student counselor from Ekurhuleni RSC. He will be doing a presentation on time management.
Thank you very much for everyone who is on attendance as well. I would like to inform you that time planning and time management is it's a commodity which is afforded to everyone. Every one of us are given enough time and equal time. That is the only commodity in life which is not for sale, but you can trade it and become rich. You can trade time and become rich. You sell your time to the employer, they pay you a salary. You sell your time for business, they pay you dividends and so on. So therefore, time is everything. So therefore, we have got 24 hours a day at 365 days, sometimes 366 days, and so on. So therefore, it's about how you manage that time, which makes it different to other people. So therefore, it's a skill, you know, it's a skill, time management, it's a skill of putting things together, pieces together, by organizing and putting some schedule up front to make sure that you budget one's time, right? So this concept of budgeting has been borrowed from economics and accounting. You know, whenever I talk about budget, somebody must think about money, but you also budget time, because without time, nothing is possible. Nothing is possible without time, because everything under the earth is working based on time. The reason behind the fact that we started with this workshop for time management is because we know that nothing, absolutely nothing, including our studies, is important in life without time. If you don't have time, you won't have a productive life. Then your life will be full of stress, and therefore the end result is depression and then danger to grave. So it involves exercising conscious control about the time that you spend in activities. Sometimes you find that some people are wasting their time doing activities which doesn't benefit them. Those, we call them time wasters. And those time wasters, they are more than the things which are productive or effective that one can use to help them increase their livelihood. So therefore, as from today, you must know that doing a degree, it needs time. Doing work, it needs time. Doing business, it needs time. So therefore, once you grasp the aspect of this workshop, you are more likely to be able to have a productive life and have stress-free life or less stress, because sometimes stress comes from something else. But if you manage and budget your time, I'm telling you now, to be honest with you, you are more likely to have less stress in life. Right. So there are things in life which are very important. Some of them, they can become emergency things. So those things which are important, they've got also some benefits to each and every person. How? So it helps you to have a better life balance, which means that if you manage time better, you are going to have a better life balance, which means at the same time you have got life, work, and the home experiences. Right. Let's say, for instance, let's take example of my manager, Mashu, my colleague. She's a mother, a wife, and a manager at work as well. So if she doesn't have time, she's more likely to suffer stress because she's unable to balance the two. If May, as well as he has mentioned that he works under her, then if he doesn't manage time, he is more likely to suffer stress, and therefore he doesn't have a good experience of work, because every time when you think about his work environment, it's very stressful. So therefore, that alone, if they are put together, they brings about an improved productivity in one's life, and again at work and at home. Then the relationship with the significant others improves. So therefore, time is everything. These are the things that you need to keep in mind when you talk about time. There's a difference or distinction, and a thick line, not a thin line. There is a thick line. Write that concept, because you always heard about the thin line. So today you have learned about the thick line. There's a thick line between being busy and being productive, right? There are people who are busy the whole day but not productive, right? So which means that they have been busy doing things which doesn't benefit the company or not even benefit themselves. So therefore, that is being busy. But being productive is that even if you have got less time, you can be able to accomplish what you are employed to do or what you have decided to put down, so that is about to bring about productivity. So therefore, each and every business, each and every employer, they are looking for productivity. They don't care about the busy employee who is running around Patwani, going up and down without doing anything. But if Patwani takes only 30 minutes of his day and do workshop which improves students' life, therefore he's being productive. If Patwani takes an 8-hour day and do nothing, sitting in a computer doing his studies or doing his research, personal research, therefore he's being busy and is wasting he's wasting things for the employer. So therefore, that being said, you need to understand that there is a thick line between being busy and being productive. As from today, you must understand, are you busy or are you being productive? That's my question to you. You don't need to answer it. Just ask yourself every day, every morning when you wake up, ask yourself, what am I going to be busy with? Once you say to yourself, I'm going to be busy with, then you are not going to be productive. But if you are going to focus on aspect, what is my day going to unfold? What am I going to do today from 8 to 9, from 9 to 10, from 10 to 11? That alone, it will help you to become a productive person in general. If you are occupied doing things that do not contribute to your goals, you are busy. However, you are occupied, you are busy doing things which doesn't benefit you, you are busy doing things that doesn't bring you a better life, you are busy doing things that doesn't bring better productivity to your employer. Therefore, you need to select things that you need to do, because all those things that makes you busy, they are time wasters. So everything that are time wasters are very dangerous, because you will end up making New Year's resolution every year, but you cannot even accomplish a simple, small goal. You will see when you talk about a SMART goal later, what is so important to focus on the short-term goal, long-term goal, and so on. Because if you are really busy, I'm telling you now, the next 6 months, you're going to reap what you sow, but you are not going to have a productive reaping, because now you are still going to write exam, and though exam is written at home, but failure to be able to discipline yourself, you are more likely not to bring us anything. If you are funded by NEPSAS will stop funding you. That is when you're gonna start coming to counseling. Hey, help me, Fatwani. Hey, help Mama, help me. What can I do with this? Whereas we are giving you the foundation now of what to do in order to avoid studying to work late and all those things. Those are the aspects that are ignored by most people. And at the end of the day, they become depressed and stressed at the end of the day. So time management helps you to become more productive, achieve maximum goals, which are available every time, every day, every minute. And those who manages time, they manages life, because time management is equals to personal management. Right. So therefore, you must also understand that time, it goes with personality. Me and my manager, we've got different times that we are active at. And we have started to understand that, and we learn it better. I am not by virtue a morning person. By morning, I mean I can't do things from 5 to till 8, right? But from 10, I can work from 10 o'clock in the morning until as late as 1 o'clock in the morning. That's how I am. That's how I'm structured. So don't frustrate me by giving me activities which need me to do it in the morning. Although I knew that school says to be, those are the principle of school. You need to be at school at this time and this time. But that is why I did not do maths, because maths need you to concentrate, and our classes which comes in the morning before you eat, because once you eat, you start to sleep at school. So therefore, the rationality behind why the maths and physics, they come in the morning, it was because they wanted you when you're still active. So therefore, because I'm inactive during the day, then those are the people that does the social sciences, the history, the geography, and so on. So therefore, that is where you need to understand your personality so that you will be able to manage your time. Know yourself. Are you time conscious or relaxed? There are people who are just relaxed. Everything to them is nothing. It's alabaloo. It's nice at work and so on. It's nice. It's cool. Now that they've registered me, I've got study material. Then what? So those are the kind of things. So then those are the aspects that you need to understand. Do you study best in the morning? Do you study best on the evening? So you need to know your personality. If you're an afternoon person, stick to that. If you're a morning person, stick to that. If you're a balanced person, it doesn't matter whether it's morning or afternoon, stick to that. Then you are going to be able to understand what time should be able to study. That is why we've got issue of whole brain learners and the left brain learners and right brain learners. This comes from the issue as well of the personality. So they are also the elements of time management and the components of time management. Let's first look at the elements of time management before we also consider the components of time management. Be aware of your time. So therefore, every time you must always think about what time do I have. So there is no one who run before time or who run you will see, here's people saying, I ran out of time. So you cannot run out of time unless if you poor to plan. And the failure to plan is planning to fail. Therefore, you need to manage your time. If you are aware of your time, you are going to be also aware of things that waste your time. WhatsApp during the time that you wanted to study, calls, Facebook, Messenger. Those are the aspect of the thing that we talk about, the time wasters, because during this time you need to put your phone in the plane mode. In the plane mode, which means you are flying to Cape Town now. So therefore, that's 2 hours that you are flying to Cape Town. Switch off your phone to the plane mode, like what I did to mine now. No one will call me when I'm busy doing time management, so that I cannot be focusing on WhatsApp when I'm busy with time management, because to me, students is my life, because without students, my life is nothing. So therefore, be aware of your priorities, things that are most important. They must be on the top of the list. Then you also have, like I said, self-management, personal management, wherein you manage yourself. If you fail to manage yourself, you fail to manage time. Management of the personal resources. What are the resources that I have that I need to manage at the time? You need to know that. Goal setting and measuring achievement. You must give yourself internal motivation, or if you don't have money to buy ice cream per se, that is external motivation. So intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Why? Once that small achievement, you got 70% or 75% in your assignment, go out to Lakeside Mall, go out to Mall of the South, go out to Cape Town Mall, wherever you are staying, because I don't know whether you are all staying within where I stay. So therefore, whichever local mall that you can go to, go and reward yourself with ice cream that I made it. I'm just celebrating my achievement for passing this psychology 101, which they say is difficult, with 75%. So those are small achievements. You need to celebrate them because they might not come back again. Goal setting and measuring achievement and planning. So therefore, planning, you cannot do anything without planning. So even research needs planning. You need to plan what kind of documents I need, what kind of resources I'm looking for. So therefore, planning is the thing, then followed by organizing. Once you start planning, you put your personal resources together. You organize them. So this must be here. This must be here. I need to get a laptop. I need to get data. UNISA need to send me data on this date. So if they delay sending me data, what could happen to me? So that all those things are very important. Then you delegate. You are not going to delegate to other people. You are delegating to yourself. So you have to choose which job need to be taken at what day and what time. That is your personal delegations. Delegation is not only about delegating to other people who are inferior to you, for the lack of better word. So therefore, you delegate to yourself. I mean, on Tuesday, every Tuesday, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I'm telling you, I'm going to do accounting because accounting is challenging. It needs me when I'm still fresh in the morning, right? So in the afternoon of that particular day, I'll be doing industrial psychology because it's theory. Accounting is about practical. You see, those are the kind of things that you need to put into place. Then at the end of the day, when you have all these resources, when you plan, when you organize, when you delegate, then you have got a control of your life. Right, planning. Failing to plan is planning to fail. A plan is a roadmap set in a real time to reach an objective. So therefore, you need to have this kind of roadmap. There is no way. You cannot not joke about this. You cannot do anything without plan. There is no business which is successful out of you just by default. Never. You cannot have this by default. This need planning. And repeat, everything you do in life need planning, right? This is not a routine where you wake up, you brush your teeth, you go to bathroom or shower or whatever. No, this is not a routine. You need to plan. Time need to be planning. You cannot do anything without planning. To the beginning, the planning process, you need to identify your goals. The goals can be strategic goal, tactical goals, and operational goals. Long-term goals are strategic goals, like 3 years degree, which I will use maybe economics. So that's a 3-year degree. That's a long-term goal because you are not going to finish it in 2 months. It's a 3 years. Therefore, there must be a short-term goals which helps you to reach a long-term goals. So also, after a short-term goal, you must have a medium goals. Tactical goals are medium-term goals that require 3 to 12 months. What will happen the first semester? What will happen after a year? I'll be having 10 modules already collected. This is a must. I don't want to see a SAP in my study. Operational goals, those are short-term goals. I need to have assignment done in time. All in March, all assignment which is done in March and April, they must be all gone. In my planner there, I'll write in red. This is gone, this is gone, this is gone, so that you remain with time that you can be able to prepare for exam. Right. We spoke about planning and so on. So I'm going to look at the SMART goal. Right. I told you about the SMART goal before we reach here. We said when you decide on your goals, it is essential that you make them SMART. SMART means be specific, which goal you are going to focus on. The goals must be measurable. Don't make a haphazard goals that we cannot even be able to measure. And the goals should not be things that are not attainable. It's in space. You are just trying to please people. Make goals that you can be able to achieve. Don't tell me in a year I need to have 20 modules. That is not possible because UNISA can only allow you to do 10 modules. So therefore, those are the attainable goals. Make the goals relevant, right? Do not go and choose the wrong modules when people are available who can help you to choose modules. So I'm just giving you that as an example. So every time, go to check your goals timeously. Have I accomplished this? If I haven't, why didn't I accomplish this? Those are the kind of things that you need to know when we talk about the SMART goals. Right. Therefore, we have got short-term planning. That short-term planning is about something that you can do hourly, you can do weekly, you can do daily, you can do in a month. To do this, you should work out how much study time do you have at your disposal. So when you look at that, Don't make goals time planning that is not possible. I will study for 20 hours. There is no human being on earth who can study for more than 45 minutes. Even the genius, the Albert Einstein, even the genius, Fatwani, who's presenting in front of you, cannot be able to study for 20 hours. It's not possible. No. Don't scare us when we see you, your eyes are red, you're coming from the library. You are not studying, you are cramming all along, wasting time cramming. So let me teach you the technique of studying, which is not even part of this. But because we're in time management, I want to teach you the technique of studying so that you must not repeat the mistake done by our ancestors. I'm not saying your ancestors, our ancestors, of thinking that they're studying, wasting time as if they're coming from the operational lab for 24 hours trying to operate the heart. No. You study for 45 minutes, you take a 15 minutes break. Write that down. But you're going to get it when I'm doing the study skills and time management, or my colleague doing it. You study for 45 minutes and take a 15 minutes break. Okay? So therefore, that becomes an hour. Why don't you ask yourself the question, how was the school's period structured? Why it was 45 minutes, or even if it's 15 minutes, I don't know what is it, because I left school some years back. Why was it structured like that? Because a human brain cannot do beyond what the person is having. So therefore, based on that, a human brain can only accommodate information which is given to them for 45 minutes. Beyond that, it's a waste of time. That is why in church as well, if a pastor is preaching for more than 3 hours or 4 hours, it becomes a problem, because you lose concentration. You are no longer focusing. You lose even the important aspect. That is why you must always give people break, or give them a teaser, so that they can be able to grasp the information they are providing to them. So to do this, you should work out how much time you have, and you need to draft a master schedule. So if you go to Google, you look for a plain timetable, a time planning timetable, they have them. So daily planning, they have them. Weekly planning, they have them. So therefore, you cannot, if you are a morning person, you say, you know what, I want to structure my study like this from 9 to 11. I should be practicing accounting. You cannot study accounting from there. You go to economics. From there, you go to qualitative modeling, because they are all challenging modules. So you need to also have a breather. A breather will be a subject like business management in the middle. You must have a psychology, industrial psychology in the middle, which is the theory. Why? So that your brain can also be able to relax. So the long-term goals, I spoke about them. Sometimes it's important for you to join a group discussion. Please do not use a group discussion to tackle question papers. And after you tackle question papers, each of you, when they ask you a question, you answer the same way you see it in the question paper that you answered, because that's how you do it. That is that amount to plagiarism. As we speak now, we're sitting with students who have been blocked. They cannot register. They cannot do anything because of copying, right? So therefore, to avoid that, please make sure that you paraphrase everything that you do in a group discussion. So when you are busy with the group discussion, preparing for examination, right, and writing assignment, it's fine. You can do it together as a group. But at the end of the day, each person will be charged according to what they wrote. So if you copied and then everyone has got the same work, that amount to plagiarism. You are going to get 0. Some of you guys, if you are not undergraduate, you are postgraduate, they will end up even blocking you, and you get more frustrated. As we speak, I'm busy trying to solve the case of people who plagiarize. I ask them, how did you get that? Because the exams returned to home. Because I was under duress, went to Google, I saw the answers. But you can note everyone can go to that Google and they get the same answer. And you do not even paraphrase anything. So therefore, that amount to plagiarism. Guys, UNISA is very serious about plagiarism, because you write the exam at home. They want your exam to be credible, so that you can be accountable outside there in the outside world, that even if you're coming from UNISA, they won't say, yeah, those ones, they are just giving them the qualification. There is no free qualification to UNISA. I study all my qualifications at UNISA and go somewhere else, but there is no free qualification. Even if it's an exam written at home, it's very, very difficult. You need to study hard. Why long-term planning? Peace of mind. It gives you peace of mind, and you become relaxed. I'm telling you now, when you have planned, I don't want to lie to you, the only person I know who can plan everything thoroughly and when she plan and put her mind to it, it's my manager. So when it comes to planning, I also become stressed because when she plan things, she apply her mind to it. She want it to be done that way. That's how planning she is. So therefore, I plan my things. But if I want to put my mind on things, I'll do it. So I don't want to be frustrated when I have also have done that. So you are regularly check your progress every time. You need to go back and visit your goals. You need to go back and motivate yourself. Why you becoming demotivated now? I always tell my students, do not do qualification based on revenge or anger. Okay? I repeat. I'm also telling you now, because I know you have already registered. There's nothing you can do to me. Do not do a qualification based on anger or revenge. One client some years back, she's my friend. She won't worry so long as you don't know the name. It would be unethical if I tell you the name. Said, yeah, I'm now getting bored to do this law degree. I said, why? You liked it, right? No. You know, in my family, there was a problem. Our uncle was doing this. Our uncle was doing that. So I wanted to make sure that if I'm a lawyer, I'll get him. I said, okay, hold on there. Should he die before you finish your qualification? What's going to happen to you? Now you're going to look for any person who was behaving like your uncle and you put them to jail for no reason. So guys, please do not do a qualification out of anger or out of revenge. All qualifications should be based on internal motivation. Don't be motivated by seeing Patwani driving his Maserati, because I don't even have that Maserati. Driving his Maserati. Said, I want to buy Maserati. Then 2 years down the line, Maserati is out of fashion. Then what? So therefore, the best qualification is the one that is motivated from inside. I want to take my family out of poverty. No family can go out of poverty overnight. That's possible. So therefore, you can have that long-term goal, 3 years, you can finish because you really wanted to take them out of poverty, not build them a big house, because big house can build it anytime, but take them out of poverty. Therefore, we know in poverty, it has been accumulated from generation to generation. Therefore, you too, you are going to break that cycle of poverty by studying. That's what we talk about intrinsic motivation. You are more likely to finish your qualification, and you are more likely not to come to counseling and say, I'm demotivated, because you have chosen the career which is in line with what you wanted from inside, not what somebody like May is doing, not like what Mama Shu is doing. I want to be like Mama Shu. Then Mama Shu changes. Now she was a professor. She changes. Now she's busy breeding chicken. You no longer know. Now you're frustrated because that is not what you. So every individual in this life has got their own path. Don't look at somebody else and say, but me, I'm too old. I'm already 35. I don't even have a job. How could I be a millionaire? Some people's life are framed in a way that when they are old, they will be rich because they cannot manage small money now. If we give them money now, we are going to kill them. Therefore, every aspect in life, it needs you to be trained, it needs planning. So even the study, please choose the qualification that complement your personality so that you won't be frustrated at work, at your businesses. You will always work because each day in your life will become a happy day. Then you know that you will not forget important days. So therefore, you use a diary. So nowadays, the phones have got easy. They can help you to plan your things. You put the days there. You share a calendar with whoever's there so that they mustn't disturb you, So therefore, you understand that even come what may, I'm prepared. Anything, the sky is the limit. You won't have a problem. That's what we talk about when we talk about these kind of things of long-term planning. Then we've got overall results of planning. You cope with academic anxiety, so which are as a result of lack of planning. When you develop anxiety, which is based on academic, your lack of coping skills, and that is a result of lack of planning. Reduce anxiety, exam anxiety, keep you motivated, allows you to maintain the balance of what is required and what is available. So when you've got available resources and you've got this, what is required, you look at the two and you make a balance out of them. So eliminate time wasters because you are aware of them. You are not going to say, when I WhatsApp, I will see you later. At the moment, I'm too busy with my life. Let me be able to deal with what I'm doing to avoid this problem. Because if I don't have this, it will be a problem to my life. It's very important for you to always look at the things that are wasting your time. Friends are very good, though I don't even know how many friends I have, because I don't think I have any friend, because everyone is my friend. So therefore, when it comes to exam or when I wanted to do my things, I do them alone. The only person who understands me, I think, is 2 people in life. Not even my wife understands me. My manager understands me that people think I'm an extrovert, but I'm the biggest introvert of them all. I like to have time for myself and spending time with me, right? That's how I am. But people don't understand that because they see me talking, doing things. So that one is an extrovert. But to be fair and honest with you, I'm an introvert. So if you understand your personality, that goes to the slide number 1. If you understand your personality, you won't frustrate other people, right? Because frustrating other people is because you frustrate yourself. Nobody can make you angry because anger is a self-choice. Because if somebody cut in front of me and I don't get an accident, why should I worry because I did not die? I just don't have time to waste with somebody whom I just met on the road for 2 seconds. I don't. I won't even raise my finger and fight. No. Why should I spoil my day by somebody whom I don't even know what they're going through? Before you think about what you are going through, think about what others might be going through. Imagine all of us will put our problems on the road. What's going to happen? We're going to have a problem, then the road will be stuck because anyone will think about dying on the road or jumping on the road. So therefore, don't make your problem my problem, okay? Because we all have problems, but the interest part comes in. How do we solve our problems? And it's a matter of having time, because if you don't have time, you can solve problems, because time is the master of everything. Problems need time. That's why they say time heals. You see, it comes from that. Time heals. The more you keep on it and think about it and so on, time heals. So everything on this earth is basically based on time. You cannot do anything without time. Right, we have got steps in organizing, right? The first thing is you put the tasks together. You prioritize them. This is the number 1 task. You put them on scale, maybe 1 to 10. Number 1, I must do 1, 2, 3. Number 2, I must do 3. Blah blah blah. Until you do go to the bottom one, because there are aspects of things which are urgent and some which are non-urgent. And when they are urgent, therefore, you must also think about that when I'm busy with this, something emergency can come into place. So therefore, if you plan your time, come what may, nothing will disturb your schedule. That is how we talk about time, because long-term plans and so on helps you to reduce the stress and anxiety which can come as a result of anything which may go wrong. They say in a principle, it's a martial law. So if you think something will go wrong, it will definitely go wrong. I don't know if how true is that. So if you have gone through that, guys, that's what they're saying. Next, block out the task that you need to complete by the due date. So there's always been the due date. Like if I'm at work, I know there's a due date for the reports. Then therefore I will be reminded still. Why? Because maybe I'm busy with the workshop and so on. But the reports need to go because month end is month end. You need to note, the 25 or so and so things should have been put together. So therefore, that is where in the issue of diary and helps you, because you will be able to understand that this is need to be done. Highlight all important days. You give them a different code and the colors. So when you code them, this one yellowish means they are very urgent or whatever. Red means hey, you cannot skip this. You need to do them now. So that becomes easier for you to work around it. Ensure you give adequate time for your top priorities. So each one must have the time frame of when to do it. Don't do jobs which are easy and caught up with the easy things, and you even eat the time for the things which are important. No. So even something interesting must have time, because you may end up exhausting time that are designed for something else. So it's important for you to always realize that whenever I have time for this, even now, no matter how much it's interesting, when the time is gone, I must stop, because other things need time. Therefore, even if you are enjoying this module, it must know that when it comes to this time, it's not its time. Make a list of using the action priority matrix. Make a list of activities you would like to complete. Okay, this week I must complete 1, 2, 3. And every time you must tick them. So if the most place that you go when you're at home and you're studying at home, it's a fridge, put a note on the fridge of everything which is going to be. You keep you as a reminder that I must study this at this time. So every time when you go to the fridge, you will always say it. So score all the activities from 0 to no impact to 5, the maximum impact. So when they are no impact is 0. When they've got impact is 5. So don't rob yourself. I'm not going to check that. So because there are some people who will rob themselves thinking that they're robbing someone. Once you start to do something wrong, unethical to you, you are more likely not to be ethical to anybody, because unethical start with you. So there's no excuse about that. Score all the activities based on their requirement, effort from 0 to 5, as I've mentioned. Use the matrix to decide either to complete the activity or drop the activity based on the matrix. Sometimes you find that I will say to you, pass that slide. Why? I've already done it when I'm talking about the previous one. So that is how you do also when you are studying. So don't waste your time on the things. So that's why if you are a student, you must always know that you must have enough time for doing revision. Right. We spoke about the common time wasters, né? Then one is going to be procrastination, no clear plan, fear of failure, inadequate resources, and shifting priorities. Oh gosh, I fight with another students, not fight a physical fight, where I had an advice about something that was troubling me, because the student says, I'm doing my assignment, I cannot see them in my phone. I said, don't you have a laptop? And I know laptop is a luxury. So it's not it's a requirement for everyone, but I couldn't. I was not saying it out of love. I'll tell you why. The student is using NEFSAS. She decided to choose money over the laptop, right? I understand, guys, and it's a working student. The worst case scenario, it's a working student, although she's not working any that much. But I say, didn't you supposed to have chosen laptop? Because you need to have laptop. Some assignment you cannot do them in a phone. You can do multiple choice in the phone, but what happened to the typed assignment? It will take time. Even the exam, you cannot be happy about receiving money instead of buying laptop. So therefore, it's an issue of inadequate resources as a problem of you creating that. Because if NEFSA says choose between money and laptop, you decide to choose money, and you know that you're still gonna get stipend. Then I think there is disjuncture, because you need to realize you need laptop than any other thing, because first year until the end of your career, 3 years or so, you'll be using the same laptop, which means that the next year is then that you can choose something else. But we need to have laptop as a student. It was supposed to be compulsory according to me. Right. Then shifting priorities, changing this, I will do this, I will do this, then that becomes a procrastination. The procrastination is the thief of time. I will do it tomorrow. Tomorrow arrives, comes, something else comes. I'll do it the following day. Until the exam arrives and you have done nothing. Keep consistency. Somebody has said it there straight away. You cannot not focus. Losing focus is a no-go zone. You need to focus all the time. You see, everything I say about all the time, because we're in time management. So you need to focus. If you fail to focus, if you fail to manage time, you fail to manage yourself, because time management is self-management and it's personal management. Control, revisit and revise your schedule every time, all the time, anytime. You need to revisit and revise your schedule. It is important to check whether your plan is working and check how are you using your time. If you fail to manage your time, I'm telling you now, you are going to flock counseling with problems that does not even need counseling, that need personal management. Most of the problem that we have today, it's an issue of failure to manage time, because time management, it's personal management. Most people, I'm not saying don't come to counseling. We need you, because we need to see whether you are still focusing on the direction. Sometimes we lose our mind because we don't do anything. When last did you go and visit a doctor to just say to the doctor, check my body and my kidney and everything if it's still working properly? You may find out that your kidney, you are only functioning in one lung. The other lung is just full of water. So those are the kind of things that we're talking about. To clear your mind, come and visit counseling. Then we talk, we sit down, we talk about things, we show you different perspective. We work around that. This will help you to identify if you're deviating between the thing that you have planned and the actual followed thing. Therefore, you will be able to acquire a new way of doing things. It's not that we don't know anything. We know everything, but we don't talk about everything. Why? Because we focus on what we need now and what our students need now. You need to also look at your schedule every day, check time, and look for the better time to do every activity. If it doesn't work at that time, shift, go back, go forward, go in the middle, check, shift, and do like that. You will never have to worry a single day of your life. Right. Let's look at the attitude. Write down for me if you've got a pen and paper. I want to teach you some trick. It's not my trick. I learned it from Dr. Huna. Write it vertical. Write it down. A-T-T-U going down. And give each letter a numerical number. H1, T, I don't know whether it's 19 or so. You will find that attitude gives you to up to 100. So your life is about attitude. If you are negative, you are 0. If you are positive, you are 100. Therefore, you must know your positive attitude let you achieve greater things. If your attitude are not right, you have got a problem that everything that you see, you will see them in the negative light. You need this. That's the way when you've got a problem, you're going to run to the media. So therefore, we don't accept that. We don't promote that. You cannot run to the media before you talk to part one. Chief, I find Unisa stressing me in this regards. Do you think there's someone who can help me? Because there is no problem with that solution in this world. It's just that we're looking for solution in the wrong place. All problems have got solution. If you got, and the answers you get everywhere you go, it's based on where you look for those answers. If you're looking for the solution from Inyanga, you get the kind of solution. If you look for the solution from Patwani, you will get the kind of solution you look for Patwani. If you go to the past, you got the solution. So there is no problem with that solution in life. It's all about where are you looking for those solutions. Right. Then characteristics of a positive attitude. Enthusiasm for and enjoyment of daily activities. Like I've said, enjoy, man. You don't focus only on the end goal. Focus on the process. Enjoy the process, man. So, like a pregnancy. Let's just look at an example of a pregnancy for females. They enjoy the process, because they know that they won't stay pregnant forever. It's a 9 months period. And they enjoy the youth of the child when they're still crawling and so on. Because the child won't be crawling forever. So enjoy the process. Why do you want to stretch your child to become a doctor in one day when they were born? No, let them enjoy the youth. Let them enjoy the processes. The same goes to you every day of your life. The most stressed people are those who don't want to enjoy the processes. I bought a goat today, which is 3 months old. Next month, I want it to be pregnant. Is that really normal? No, don't create abnormality out of normal things. So therefore, allow the process to grow. Allow everything to go according to the plan. Then you will have less stress. So people who are more stressed are people who are rushing things and are working against time. If you work with time, I'm telling you, you're going to have work-life balance and you're going to have less stress. Taking responsibility for your action and feeling good about your success. I told you about this. I said to you, enjoy some small success. Even if you buy yourself a chocolate or something to say, hallelujah, I've at least accomplished the task that was difficult for me. That is normal. Be on the cheerful mode. You see, sometimes you can see, man, just because maybe I'm so lucky to work with people who are always happy. I don't know of anyone who's not happy in my department or in our department. I don't know. Maybe they are unhappy in their houses, but at work, they're always happy. They're always smiling because I am a cheerful person. If you are negative, I don't want you to transfer your negative energy to me. So even if you're a student, please, 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 please do not transfer your negative energy to me because I am going to see other students. So if you leave me with a negative energy, what do you say to me, to the next student? So therefore, I want cheerful students. When you go out of my office, if you are stressed, when you go out, you must be a happy person. Say, no, you know what? I think I see the light now. That's being cheerful. So some of the time in life, there are something that is beyond the human comprehension. So therefore, you learn to live with it. You learn to live with it. You are diagnosed with an incurable disease. So then what? Do you have to die? No, life goes on. You focus on the other aspect of your life which are positive. So therefore, because guys, I don't want to lie to you. All of us in this life, we've got problems. All of us in this life, we're sick in one way or the other. But the real thing is we also need to focus on the positive side of life. I don't know how many years I'm left with to live. But I think now I'm telling you to be honest with you, students. I'm not doing this so that I can buy your face. I don't need your face, right? The bottom line is, in every aspect of life, there is time. If the time for dying, time for living, and time for sickness, and time for planting or rooting. So what about me? What's special about me which makes me not to live with time? So motivating to get good job done. Get motivated. Get to understand. Make sure that every time you need to make time for yourself. Get time for yourself to reflect. So you need to meditate, you know. So it's nothing that you don't pay anyone any money for meditation. Guys, you just need to meditate for clearing your head. There's this other guy, a guru something. If you listen to his motivation, that guy can dance like nobody's business. But you, if I tell you, either your knees are itching, either your knees are painful, because you don't do anything. Everything that we do, we use car to go to McDonald's, we use car to go, even if it's a walking distance. Sometimes you must just walk. Flexibility changes when we need it. Ability to make productivity effective of time. Time is everything. I don't want to lie to you. It's not all about time. I'm happy that people are saying we are getting 3 in 1. I haven't been motivated forever. Right, let's look at the individual differences in time management. We've got achievement management, casual management, crisis management, precision management. So the bottom line is send the presentation to students. Those will give you the email. Then they will look at this slide mostly. Read it one by one, and they tell me where did you find yourself and where do you want to change. Share with me the next slide. That is the continuation of that. Then the question is, which one are you? So I won't ask you this question until you read those slides, students. Having said that, thank you very much, colleagues.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Makane. That was a lovely presentation. I know we all enjoyed it. You know, the information session from Mr. Makahani was very informative. I don't lie. So now let us continue with our program. The stage is yours, ma'am. I know that you're always ready to do the presentation, so I'll leave it up to you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Program Director. Good morning, colleagues of UNISA, and also our special guest, the students this morning. To be honest, Program Director, I was also enjoying Mr. Makahani's presentation. So I was also really learning a lot from what he was presenting. So thank you once more for giving me this opportunity to come and talk to our students concerning the most important thing of time, also in relation to them preparing their assessments, as we know that students are on a journey of studying to get their qualifications, and assessment is part of the game. They cannot get there without them being assessed. So my discussion today is on the time management, and we are talking about assessment matters, as we know that assessment is a big part of what the qualifications are all about, and what the students would have to go through in order for them to qualify for their to get their qualifications. So I think Mr. Makahani has spoken a lot on the goal and why students are registering, and as well as, you know, for them to be aware of, you know, time management and those things that can eat their time. And I opted to talk about vision a little bit, to say that firstly, everything starts with a vision, whether you call it a dream or you call it a goal, but it's something that is there and it's always in the future. And this is what a person, every one of us decides on. Each and every one of us has a different vision about the future, and everyone has whatever it is that is in their heart for them to have that vision. And for the vision to be achieved, one needs to sacrifice, and as we had said, it's time, as well as we know that also to sacrifice your money. As you register with UNISA, you need to spend money that you could have used for other things, but you delay those other things in order for you to register, so that you can get your qualification. And you know that your qualification is in the future, but you have to work it for it now. And you shouldn't allow anything to come before you, because if you allow things to disturb you, then you may find that it will be difficult for you to get that qualification. And we know that that qualification, as also Mr. Makane said, is based on how you view yourself, your personality, what you think you are good at, your strengths, as well as what you think you can bring to the community or to society. Because we know that the qualification that you are going to acquire, you are going to use it, yes, for yourself, monetary-wise, achievement-wise, but it's also going to benefit the community. So that vision needs to be there, because it is the driving force. Whatever that you do, you will be knowing that you are working towards your vision. So a part of the assessment and getting your qualification is you helping you to get your vision. And then, as well as now it's all about you. You are the main person, as and I think also Ms. Maboa did mention that as people, we want to study, to achieve our dreams of qualifications and a better life. But some of us didn't get a chance after matric, to go and study. Some are studying immediately after matric, but we know that previously UNISA mostly was for the students who couldn't study at a residential university, but opted to work at the same time, continue with their studies. And once you are caught up in that, there's so many things that take up your time, your work. You are a family person, you've got children, you help them with homework. Now we are compiled with a new thing, which is load shedding, which is also impacting on our time, because you may want to study. Let's say you want to start studying at 8 o'clock, and their load shedding comes for 2 hours to 4 hours. And during that time, you may try to study, but you may find that it's very difficult. So also we know that we have got church responsibilities, because as human beings, we need to be grounded. We need to be like balancing, spiritually, psychologically, physically, socially. For us to be whole human beings, we need to interact with the various aspects in our lives. We also have hobbies, as well as we know that we like entertainment, because entertainment keeps us busy. So also now the other thing is, much as, yes, we are motivated and everything, but sometimes we may struggle to study. And as Mr. Makane said, that we should be aware of those things which are, we call the time wasters, things that steal our time, where you find that instead of you concentrating when you get to the study, you start thinking of many things. Sometimes you're tired, you fall asleep, or you start working on doing a WhatsApp and all that. I find that social media is very good, but I'm a student myself. But if you don't discipline yourself as a student, you find that you spend time on social media chatting to your friends when you have to study, and that can be a time stealer. It can really steal your time. So be aware of such things. So coming to the business of assessment, as you know that assessment is part of of teaching and learning, and that with all your studies, all your modules, you have to be assessed to show that you have achieved the level of competency required to pass a module. And also assessment helps you to understand the content, as well as to become competent in that particular area. Without assessment, you won't even put that effort. I mean, all of us know that if you are registered for a course and you are not going to be assessed for it, you may find that you don't put so much energy in understanding and studying for it, because at the end of the day, you are not going to be assessed, you are not going to be asked anything. So assessment raises our level of anxiety and stress, but it also pushes us to try and understand, because the main thing we are studying is for us to gather knowledge, and then that knowledge you are going to use in the industry where you are employed, in your community, or wherever it is where you will be working. And then assessment in UNISA is based on the assessment strategy. So, and it's aligned to the Odell policy. So we do have the policies that guide us in assessment. We do have our assessment policy as well as our assessment procedure and manual. And also we have other various teaching and learning policies that govern studying of our students within UNISA. Because if we didn't have any policies, it will be unfair to our students, because we wouldn't have any standards. Anyone will come and do things their own way, and at the end of the day, you will find that our qualifications don't carry weight. And as you know that in UNISA, our qualification, we are accredited to the various bodies, like for the for accounting, we are accredited by SAICA, as well as for our engineering modules, we are accredited by EXA. So also those bodies, they hold the standards. They make sure that it doesn't matter where you qualified from. If you are a CA, you meet the same standards that are supposed to be met. So with UNISA, we also have to make sure that our students are qualified and they can be accredited by those bodies, because what is the use of studying at UNISA and then at the end of the day you find that your qualification is not accredited? Imagine the time and the effort that you would have wasted in putting your efforts and your time in your studies. Okay, coming to the assessment types, you need to understand the assessment types that are there as you do your assignments. Firstly, with assessment, we've got formative assessment. By formative assessment, we mean all your assignments that you submit for the course. And then we also have what we are calling continuous assessment. Now, with continuous assessment, there is no formal exam. It means that from the time you submit your first assignment, you are being assessed, and that mark will contribute towards your final mark. So with continuous assessment, the lecturer makes sure that as a student at all times, you are guided, you are coached throughout the whole process, so that by the end of the year or the semester, you have already mastered your content. And even with continuous assessment, by the end of the semester, you'll already know whether you have passed the module or you didn't pass the module, because you would have seen how you are progressing with your assessment. So UNISA is moving more to continuous assessment because we want to help our students step by step. We don't want students to register for a module for the whole semester, and then the way we are used to, at the end of the semester, you find that you didn't pass the module. So you will realize that most modules are moving to continuous assessment, as well as we do have our normal summative assessment, which is our examinations, which we know now that everything is online, which came with its own challenges. But as UNISA and also as you as students, we are navigating through this online environment, because it has given us an opportunity to continue with the studies. Imagine with COVID, if we would have closed the universities and wouldn't even have tried anything. Imagine the time, and that would have been wasted. So I know that online is a challenge to all of us, also with the environment of load shedding and frustrations by the students, but I think it is a better mode of examination writing, in the circumstances that we find ourselves in. Okay, coming with the assignment submission process, we know that it starts with the submission. I see that my colleague, Mr. Gaba, will take you through the process of a model where it's a learner management system. He will show you how to go about submitting your assignments, and as well as the online examination on the Moodle platform. So submission is on the on my UNISA, but you go to my modules. Then after submission is the marking. The lecturers will mark your assessment and you will give you feedback so that you know where you have done bad, where you have done well, so that you can improve on that whilst you are going to use your assignment to prepare for the coming examination. And then from there, internally, we update your records with your marks. And then you know that with assignments, it for the year mark. It will help you to get a year mark in the course, and as well as you will get exam admission. So all this information concerning exam admission, there is a criteria, but you'll find it on your tutorial letter 101, as well as the contribution of every assignment. You'll find it also on the tutorial letter, as well as on the module side. The lecturer will communicate with you concerning how your assignments are calculated and how they contribute to the year mark. So with the assignments, we've got the three types. What we call file uploads is your written assignment, the ones that you type. I think UNISA still accepts handwritten assignments, but the ideal situation will be for you to try and learn typing skills as we are online, as well as to submit your assignment online. And then we have the quizzes. The quizzes are like your multiple choice questions, whereby you log onto the system and you are given instruction to stay on the system until you complete your assessment. So the system is generating questions. It's various questions for various students. So you find that there's a pool of questions which are presented to you as a student based on the content. Maybe the lecturer said, please, for this assignment, study chapter 1 to chapter 3. So you need to make sure that we study all those chapters, because then the questions on the quizzes are going to be based on those chapters. So you'll get different questions where you are going to answer, choose A, B, or C, or you will be given a short sentences. And there as well, you will be choosing to say which one maybe explains better the concept that is presented. So you need to prepare yourself adequately for the quizzes, because there it's once you log on, maybe it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you need to answer and complete your assessment. And the marking thereof happens very quickly. Within 48 hours, your assessment, you will be marked and you will be getting your results. Then it's the forums or the workshops. This one are usually for post-grad qualifications, whereby students are on forums, as well as they are also attending workshops, and their assessment is based on that. And then the important information is that all formal assignments have a due date. So look at the study material, look at the tutorial letters, go onto the module site just to see what are the due dates, and they will contribute towards your year mark. Most of the assignment contribute towards your year mark. It doesn't matter, some carry a 20% weight or a 10% or a 30, that 20% is big. If you are going to write an exam and then you didn't submit an assignment of which you won't even get exam admission, but imagine losing that 20%. It could help you to improve your marks, because maybe when you write exams, you could be under pressure or having challenges. So the year mark is very important. Sometimes students neglect to write their assignments, or they only write one assignment for exam admission and then they don't write the rest. That is a disadvantage, because then it will the year mark will boost your results and also will boost your final exam result. And if possible, submit all your assignments, ne? And then after marking, the assignment will be sent back to you. Use your assignment to revise and engage the lecturer. If you are not comfortable or you don't understand anything on your assignment, contact the lecturer, even by email. Check what the lecturers say on the module site when they introduce themselves. Some lecturers will tell you that they are available on certain times to answer emails as well as to answer calls. So contact the lecturers during that time. So how to plan around submission of assignments? As I said, immediately after registration, as part of planning, sit down, check all your study material, look at the dates of your assignment, note them somewhere, go through the content, check what the assignment requires, so that you are able to gauge to say, this assignment requires a lot of time, there's referencing involved, and there's a lot of work. So obviously, you can't write it 2 days or 3 days before submission. You need to plan it, look at it, and research and do many other things. So always check and see the content of your assessment, and make sure that you attend tutorials if there's any better tutorials, if there's any tutorials, especially as a first year student, because UNISA hasn't got classes, which is sometimes a disadvantage, because the students are coming, those that are fresh from school, they are used to a system of being tutored, being taken through things, but at UNISA, you don't have that luxury of the classes. So rather attend tutorial classes to help you. And then submit your assignments on the date or before. Don't wait for the last minute, because sometimes on the last date, the system will have high volumes, and then you find that you struggle to submit your assignment, and then you find that the time lapses, and once the system is closed, it's so difficult. Now you have to phone us, you have to phone everywhere, and you find that the time will not be extended. So make sure that you write your assignments, submit them on time, because we do have a lot of inquiries where students say, I was late by 1 minute, 2 minutes, the system closed me out. What am I supposed to do? There isn't much we can do, because the lecturer will say, we did tell the students well in advance to focus on their due dates so that they are able to submit on time. So more tips on submission and routing of assignments. So to save time, please ensure the following. Make sure that the content is correct before submission. Sometimes students submit blank documents, and when you submit a blank document, you're gonna get a 0. This thing of online, the challenge is that you will have to choose a file from many files, and sometimes you can choose wrong files. So make sure that the content is correct. And after submission, you will get a message that on the platform that you have submitted your assignment successfully. Keep a screenshot of that, so that in case anything happens, UNISA says that we didn't receive your assignment, then you have proof. And as Mr. Makahani has said, plagiarism and academic dishonesty are totally unacceptable. Don't write assignments as groups, because that is the pitfall which students find themselves in. You can discuss, you can study together, but when it comes to writing assignments, sit down, apply your mind, and write your own work based on the discussion. But don't sit together and say, okay, for question 1, this is what we are going to say, this is what, because then you end up writing exactly the same words sometimes, and then that will be regarded as plagiarism, because then the lecturers will think that you copied each other's work, or you even went onto websites to get that information. So students submitting similar assessment is not allowed. You can study together, you can give each other tips, but don't submit similar work. And as a student, you are entitled to get feedback on your mark assignment from the lecturer. So you must give your lecturer some time, maybe 2 weeks or so after submission, and then you can inquire about your assignments. As you know that UNISA has large number of students, so sometimes to get things back to students on time, it's a challenge. I work in assignments, and I know that sometimes students will write examination without having received their feedback. But luckily, lecturers do also send solutions to the students. But I know that every student wants to see their own work so that they can appreciate themselves, the effort they put in the work, or they can say, this assignment I could have done better, and I'm going to improve with the next. Without that feedback, students become discouraged. And so we also, as assignments, encourage the lecturers to please mark and send students feedback. And as I said, please discuss your assessment with your lecturer if you need clarity on anything. Students get the impression that because UNISA is ordeal, long distance, you are on your own. You are never on your own. And each and every module has a lecturer. And the lecturer's responsibility is to clarify matters to you as students so that you understand the content, you master it, and you can become competent in it. Okay, examination admission. As you know that for you to write an exam, you need to be admitted. Luckily, in UNISA, we are not so much on the marks to say you need to could have obtained such a percentage to enter the examination. That is applicable to postgraduate students, your honors, your masters. But for undergraduate students, there are criteria. There is a criteria for admission. Some will just say submission of an assignment. Some will say maybe 2 or 3 assignments. So you must check your tutorial letter and also your module site, because if you didn't submit an assignment, you won't get admission to the examination. And I don't think as a student you want that, because it's very sad that you would maybe have thought you are going to write the exam and only to find that you didn't get exam admission. But again, if you did submit and there's challenges, you didn't get exam admission, contact DSA. I'll give you the numbers at the end of the session, because we can investigate and find that maybe something happened to your assignment and hence the marks maybe didn't go onto the student system and you are eligible to write your exam. So after examination admission, you will get your timetable with the exam dates as well as for preparing yourself for your examination. And your timetable will indicate the type of exam that you are going to write, whether it's a file upload or whether it's a multiple choice exam, so that you know exactly how to adequately prepare yourself. And also remember that our examinations are proctored. We do have an invigilator app that as students, you have to enroll onto and you have to use it on examinations. Remember, students, that as I said, that we want our qualifications to be to carry weight. We want it to be recognized. We don't want to get qualifications that are not recognized. And as you know, UNISA is the best institution with long distance learning, and we know that we have been in establishment 150 years already, and a lot of us have studied from UNISA, and even we do have a lot of people in leadership positions that studied through UNISA. So we want to maintain that status. We want to make sure that there is integrity in our qualification and as well as in our examination, because some students think that if it's online examination, then you can copy, you can do many things, but that is not allowed. And this, if you didn't use the proctoring tools for invigilation, then you don't get any results for your examination, because we don't know what you were doing behind scenes with the writing. So the app helps us to monitor you as you write, because you are prompted, you are given a time, you are given information to say take pictures and whatever. But don't stress yourself now with that. That information will come at a later stage towards the examination, where you will even have a practice test to go and practice, and so that you are prepared for the examination. And as I say that, you will be given time to do mock exams to practice using the proctoring tool and getting access, to the examination site, so that at least you know more or less how the tool works. So we have come to the end of the presentation. Thank you very much. That is my story.
Thank you, Ms. Nyandeni. That was a lovely presentation and very informative. I know that all the students in the house, they know exactly what to do now in regards to all assessments, all the forms of assessments that we conduct as an institution. Thank you very much, ma'am. Colleagues, students, we are now going to our last, the final presentation from Mr. Gaba, who will be taking us through navigating the Moodle site. I know the term Moodle is new to almost everyone here, but he will be telling us exactly what is it about and how to navigate around it. You can take it away, Mr. Gaba.
Good morning, colleagues. I hope you are able to see, colleagues and students, I want to say, the presentation that I am showing on the other end. My name is Toli Legaba. I am in the Technology Enhanced Learning Unit at Ekurhuleni. So our role today would be to take you through the My UNISA or the Moodle platform. So before I start, I need to just help you students understand that the Moodle platform is basically an app like we do when we have banks these days. We prefer to put up that app that we can easily access our whatever is on the banking app. So that Moodle is also an app that is now made available for students to have easy access to. In other instances, we access the My UNISA platform through a web-based option, which is basically by going to the internet through the Google Chrome or through, be it your Internet Explorer and so forth. And in many instances, we use that, especially when you come to campus. But when you are at home and on your cell phones, you can just download the UNISA Moodle app, which you can find on your different app stores for your convenience. Right. So as I start off, I also want you to get an idea that we have got two very important platforms for students at UNISA. One of them is called My UNISA. You'll see it's written out in yellow. And then we have My Life. So the difference between the two is that the blue one, which is My Life, is an email address that the university creates for you as a student as soon as you become a registered student at UNISA. And how it becomes active and available to you is as you register yourself through the My UNISA platform first. Right, so I'm going to show you now how you will have to register on My UNISA. And once you've done that, you are able to also access your My Life account. Right, so as you see at the top, we have given you the options of going to My UNISA. When you use a browser like Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, like I mentioned earlier on, you will have to type in www.unisa.ac.za, or this one that you see there, http //unisa.ac.za. And that will give you this page, which we call our landing page or our home page for My UNISA. You will have at the top right, you'll see it's in red, My UNISA. And if you go to the bottom, you will also have My UNISA. They both are serving the same purpose. You can decide which of the two works easier for you to access My UNISA. Either the one that is written out in big, you need to scroll down a little bit for you to see this, or as you land, you will see My UNISA right at the top of your screen. As a first-time student who does not have a My UNISA account, this is what you ought to do then. Once you've clicked on the My UNISA I showed you right now, you then need to come to Claim UNISA Login. It is also highlighted in red for you to see here. And it will give you 4 steps to complete in order for you to have this account now. So there is your claiming process or steps. You will have 4. One of them will require your student number. Then you will press continue for the next step. And at the next step, which is basically your third step, you would have to fill in your details as per your ID. You know, when you registered at UNISA, you have used your surname and your ID, your names in a specific format. Please ensure that you enter it like that. And once you have completed that, you will press continue to get the next option for you to read. So you're acknowledging or reading through the terms and conditions of using My UNISA. Then you have to tick them up to show that you are in agreement with what UNISA expects of you to do with this account. As soon as that is complete, you will land at the final stage or step, which will be your fourth step and not 5, where you will now be given an email address. You'll see at the top, it is written your student number at mylife.unisa.ac.za. And it will also show a phone number that it gets sent to. A password is then displayed for you to please take down. That password will also be SMS'd. Very important with the password is that these passwords are case sensitive. So they usually start by small letters, have a number in the middle, and then at the end, they would have capital letters. You have to enter it exactly as that. If you don't, it will not allow you access to my UNISA. Right, so now that we have done the claiming process, we are good to go to sign into my UNISA. You will now have at the top of your screen an option for username. That should be your student number, not your name, not your surname, and not your MyLife email address, but only or just your student number, as well as the password that was just displayed or SMS'd to your phone. You then will press on login at the orange to be signed into the MyUNISA account. Some of you may have forgotten their passwords. Then the other option is just to go to forgotten UNISA password, and it shall send or SMS you the password to your phone. Right, so as we continue to log into MyUNISA, once you press login, it should be giving you your modules. Right, so I will now show you through how it will look like once you are signed onto MyUNISA or accessing your modules. So you have entered your student number and you have entered your MyUNISA password. You will see when you signed in to the right of your screen, your name will appear there without a picture of yourself. I'm going to show you in a short while how you need to put up your profile picture. It is also very important for you to actually start having it on from now, because this is a requirement for your examinations that you have got on a profile picture. Then you will see my modules in orange. If you click on my modules, it should list out another option for my modules, 2022, for instance, or if not 2022, it'll just say my modules. There under a list of your modules should come through. Okay, this is a bit blurry. There we go. Then your modules will appear. We are using an example of one module that was enrolled for, which is INF 2611-22, and the Y means a year module. Yours, many of you will have a S at the end, which is a S1 or a S2. That means semester 1 or semester 2. Then if you click on the module that you are registered for, you're going to have a welcome page. To the left of the welcome page, it will show once again that module code, and it is highlighted in orange. Then these are all the stuff that you will do under the module. So you are able to check your grades, and you can only see your grades when you have done assignments. So before we get there, you will make sure that you come to look at the option for study material or official study material to access your tutorial letters, as well as your study guides for some of those modules that only require study guides. And those of you who need prescribed books would go to click under prescribed material at the left, and it'll display or should display to you the material or the textbook that you ought to buy. If it's not displayed there, it's also found under official study material in your tutorial letter 101. For each one of your modules, you should have a tutorial letter 101, which is important for you to read through as a student, because you are a new student. You need to learn what goes on in the module. You will also be informed of who your lecturers are for that module in the tutorial letter 101. It is in that you will also see what your prescribed material or prescribed book would have to be for that particular module. So we always say to the students, it is very important for you to start going through your tutorial letter 101. And once you have started going through your learning materials, be it your study material, your study guides, and you're now ready to do your assignments, you will have an option at the bottom that will read show your different assignments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whichever amount of assignments you have that you'd have to click on for you to be able to do your assignments. I'm going to now show you how you will view your grades. That is, once you have completed an assignment, to see how you have done in an assignment. You will then once again go to the module, come to grades, and there it will show you your different assignments 1 to 4 or 1 to 3, and your grade will be under the heading grade, as well as the percentage. If there's any feedback from the lecturer, that will be listed on the feedback heading of this window. And this is an example of a student who has submitted assignments. You'll see there they have their grades shown under the red and the percentage that they have then scored for that particular assignment. And it is not for every assignment that you may get feedback, especially if it is a quiz assignment, feedback in terms of comments. But it's mostly when you have done a written assignment or typed assignment that there may be comments or feedback provided to you so that you can see where you need to make improvement as a student. This is an example of an assignment that was submitted by a student. It's a typed assignment, and you'll see it was electronically marked. And if there were any comments that had to be made, it will be displayed here. So how you will see this is when you click on the assignment link that will appear under the section for assignments, and then you will basically get to see your assignment as well as the comments that were made within that assignment that you have submitted. Right? Then where we are looking at now is when you need to make the changes of your profile on MyUnisa, or where you basically have to put up a picture. Like I said earlier on, it is important, if you can, maybe even after the session, at the end of the session, start taking nice pictures and clear pictures of yourself that you can start to upload. So when you've signed in to MyUnisa, where your name shows at the top right, I'm going to use my example here. You see there's my names and my surname, and then I would have an orange arrow that points down. When I do click on that arrow, it gives me an option for profile. I then will click on profile, and this is where I will come to edit my profile. My names, everything will appear there, and if there's any description I need to put, I'll put it in there, but it's not important. What is important is for the picture. Remember, you have taken the picture, it's stored somewhere on your phone or on your computer. You must now go to find it by clicking on files. If you click on files, you will get an option to go and choose the file and put it up. Else you can drag and drop it here. Then you will just upload your picture at the bottom, update profile. You then will have a picture the next time you go to look at your name, top right, your name and surname, a picture will appear there. Now the university needs that so that they can be aware that you are the actual person who is writing that examination when you go to do your examination. Right. I also want to show you how you will submit your assignments. So once you have started working on your assignments, you would have signed in to your MyUnisa, like I did show you a bit earlier on, and you will see at the bottom of a module that you have clicked that it will give you an option to either submit your assignment within the window or at the top left of that window. So here is just a quiz. The quizzes are your multiple choice assignments. You go sign in My Modules, choose the module code, go to your left, and you scroll until you see assignment. You'll click on assignment 1 if it's the first one. Then it'll ask for you to, here it says return to attempt. But if you start, it'll say attempt quiz. Now, once you click on attempt quiz, your multiple choice questions are popping up for you to start answering. If it's 20 of them, you also have a navigation window at the top right that allows you to go and either tick or click there when you want to choose a question, or you will just scroll through within the window itself until you have completed your 20 questions, for instance. Now, just to alert you, some of your quiz questions does not allow for you to move back. So it will only give you an option to move forward. If you have done number 1, if you're busy with the first question, then you need to basically make sure you complete it before you go to the second question. Okay, but like I said, it differs from module to module. But to be on the safe side, rather you make sure before you move to your next question, you have got the correct answer for that and you move to the next. So once you press next and it gives you a back option, then with that particular module, you are allowed to move back and forth within your quiz assignment until you have completed. And many of them are time limited in the sense that it's only available to you for an hour, and you might be only given 1 attempt to do the assignment, or 2 or 3 attempts. All right. Irrespective of the number of attempts you are given, each attempt is only valid or will only last for 1 hour. So if you sit and idle over the hour and you do nothing over the first attempt, you are going to then lose that attempt without having had answered it. And then you only have left 2 attempts, right? That's why we say you must please make sure that you have gone through your learning material before you start attempting your assignments. And many of you are going to try at the end of this session to go and have a look at whether your assignment is available already. You will find a message similar to what you see at the bottom. It may say that the assignment will only be loaded on the 3rd of March, and it will be open until the 15th of March at a certain time. So please be cognizant of the time as well. If you don't, submit before the given time, then it will close, even if it's still the 3rd or the 15th of March, once it passes that time. So that is very important for you to also pay attention to, because many will say it's still the 3rd or it's still the 15th of March, but I can't see my assignment any longer. If you look at this one that I have open in front of me, it has the 1st of July 2022 and a time which is 10 past 2. And that is the time that it was submitted by the student. No, sorry, that's the time it has to be submitted by the student. So anything after 10 past 2 on the 1st of July, this would have disappeared and you wouldn't have been able to submit it any longer. Right, so I think that is one of the, or some of the things you must take note of when you work on your assignments. I think that was for the quiz. We also have other types of assignments, which we refer to as your typed assignments. Now the type assignment, but you'll see it says there written assignment. The typed assignment is done through your Microsoft Word space. You'd have typed it there, and when you're finished typing it, you will have to come to, if it's for the second assignment, click on the second assignment, and it'll ask what is the name going to be. You give it a name. And most of your assignments must be in PDF, so you need to choose the PDF option, and you upload the file after that. Like the previous speaker said, please make double sure that before you submit your assignment, that you are indeed going to submit the correct assignment. All right, so I'm just gonna now show you a bit of a clearer view of what I had up there. It's not so clear there. But here, it'll give you something like this. This is just almost an exam, or it speaks about an exam. In your case, it will not say question paper. It might say assignment 2, which would sit up there under the module at assignments as a link for you to open the question paper. So then you will have the question paper and you need to start answering the questions, save the file on your Word document, convert to PDF. And once you come to click on Add Submission, it should give you that view there. This is now where you are going to look or locate the file which you have saved. And once you've located it, it will come to sit in the bigger space where the name of that assignment will appear with the file in a PDF format. It also does tell you here, these are the only types of accepted files for your assignment, right? It does allow for Word documents to be submitted, but I think for you to know that your work will not be tampered with, it will only be safe for you and fair that you rather make it a PDF file. The only thing they can do there is to read what is in the file and to mark it. And they will still be able to put up comments, but they won't be able to make any changes or add anything to your file. Then you will press Save Changes for your assignment to get submitted, right? Now, once you've pressed Save Changes, you should have something to this effect within that same window that will now say to you, it is submitted for grading, for instance. And if it's not yet marked, it will also tell you under the grading status that it hasn't been marked. The due date of the assignment appears there and the time. And it also tells you how many days you have left before the assignment is indeed due. So many or some students prefer to submit their assignments early, like in 37 days and 8 hours early, because of the other responsibilities and commitments they have. They don't want to find themselves in a situation where they come to do it on the 11th of June and come 12 o'clock a.m., they are not done. Then the system closes and they have done half an assignment which they are not able to submit. So please, if you can also get into the culture, since this is a time management workshop, of doing your planning your work properly and submitting your assignments well on time. Do not wait for the 11th hour before you submit, because then you will find yourself in situations where you were still busy doing the assignment and you were chasing for time. When 12 o'clock hit, then it closed. By the time you come to put up here, you cannot submit it. Right, so once the file is then submitted, depending on what your name would have been when you saved it, here we saved it as a sample PDF. Yours might be the module code or whatever you're going to prefer calling it. It will come to sit there. It will also show the date as well as the time that you have submitted it. So you cannot come back and say, but I have submitted, and if it doesn't show like this, then it means you actually did not submit the assignment. If you have submitted upfront, like this student who is given in 37 days and 8 hours before the time, you have the advantage of resubmitting in the event that you have made a mistake or that you went back to your material and you realized, you know what, my question 5 is actually not what I thought it is. This is the correct answer. Then you redo question 5 quickly, save it again, and you're able to come and submit again because you'd have an edit submission button. But those of you who are going to wait until late are not going to have edit submission button. And it is at this point where you are making the mistake of submitting the wrong file because you have waited until it is the 11th hour. You are under tremendous pressure and you just pick a file and think this is the correct one. By the time you submit it, it's maybe on the dot 12 o'clock and you realize at the minute past 12 that was actually the wrong file. And you can't remove it because these two options would have been removed at 12 o'clock on the dot of that date that the assignment must be submitted. And that brings me to the end of your your quiz and your written assignment submissions. I'm now only just gonna quickly get you through to the My Life, because like I said, it is also an important tool for you to have access to or to use, because the university is going to use that to communicate with you as students, as well as invite you for workshops like this one of today. In the future, or if this wasn't the case already, you may have received an email that asked you to join in for this meeting of today. So that is why I want to emphasize to you that it is also important for you to ensure that your My Life account is utilized. And as I said to you when I started off, that once you register for your My Life, My UNISA account, where you received that screen that was showing you your password, and you also had an email address. So that then becomes your My Life email address, and you will use the My UNISA password for you to then access your My Life account. And how you will access your My Life email account is when you go onto the UNISA homepage, there's usually a link for My Life, if that is a long route for you. But I want you to see it from the homepage here. It's in orange, it's written My Life email. And as soon as you click on My Life email there, it will give you this window here, where it requires you to give a username, which will be your student number, where you see the zeros at mylife.unisa.ac.za. And once you hit the next button, it will ask for a password. So then you will enter the My UNISA password. As soon as you've entered the correct case-sensitive My UNISA password, you now will be logged into your Outlook emails or your My Life emails, where you will see all communication you have received from the university thus far by your inbox. You'll see there when it's bold, like what you see here, they haven't been read yet. So this student here still has to read through all the emails they have received. You will use the same platform to communicate with the university in the sense of writing to a lecturer, writing to someone here at the regional offices, provided you have their email addresses. If you use that option, we are able to easily access your email, and we prioritize it because we can see it is a student email. Let's give priority to that. Right, so that's how simple your My Life account looks like or works. It's really just an email account and nothing else. Maybe it sounds out of this world or like something else, but really it's us giving you an email account that you will use for as long as you are a student at UNISA. Even when you leave and come back again, we will still continue communicating with you through this email account. I thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. Yes, it was very informative. Thank you very much. So now, as we close, I'm going to ask one of my close colleagues to give out a vote of thanks. Ms. Sharon Tebele.
Thank you so much, Mnabisi. Thank you so much for actually running the program very smoothly. I just want to do one thing that I'm asked to do, which is just show appreciation to everyone who made it to this event. For Ms. Mama Shimaboa, one of our colleagues, to actually welcome us and give us the purpose in detail. She was very thorough, I must say. And also Mr. Makahan, who provided us with a very interesting and engaging presentation on time planning. And when he spoke about how we must budget time, how we are not capable of those time wasters, I think it was very interesting, and it got us engaged, and we even forgot that we're running out of time. I must say that I really appreciate that as well, and how timing goes with planning. Thank you so much, Mr. Makahani. And to also move along to Ms. Martha Nyandeni, and she said something about vision, and I'm going to take that as my take home. It is important to have a vision which goes with a plan as well. And she presented on assessment. Assessment forms a huge part of our students' studies and our journey with UNISA. It's very important, goes along with examination as well. And Mr. Gaba, for always being available for us. Thank you for the presentation and the Moodle app, which is always very intriguing. And to also to dig in depth to my UNISA assessments, quizzes. We get a lot of those questions by students, but I think this will provide clarity as well, because UNISA is strictly digital and exams are online, and being continuously informed and taught of such systems actually help. And to the students, our VIPs, of course, this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you guys. And thank you for honoring the invitation and for staying through the presentations as well. We really appreciate you. And to all my colleagues, as I've mentioned, Mr. Kaba, Makahani, Ms. Ngendeni, and Ms. Mamashu, and for coming through as well for us, we really appreciate the effort. The information shared with our students was very necessary and well prepared for our students as well.
Thank you for those lovely words. And I'd like to thank the guys from the East Rand, the Ekurhuleni team, for involving me in this program of yours. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been a good day. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for trusting me to direct this whole program. And yeah, guys, have a great one. Thank you for your time. Like Mr. Makahani said, let me just leave you with this. Procrastination is a waste of time. So do your best to move away from it.